Good evening, my people. It's me, your brother, your friend. I'm just here this morning again this evening to throw more light on how we can make Edo great again. Please just press your share button. If you are watching from YouTube, please share with friends, invite friends. If you're on Facebook, please just press the share button while we wait for more of our guests into the show. Thank you guys and God bless.
Ancient city is calling. All my bright sons and daughters of the land. Bluetooth mode. The ancient city is calling. All my bright sons and daughters of the land. The king of the city is marching. Stand up high to the pride of the land. The founding fathers have labored, and our time to serve is now. The glory of the new Lego nation will forever be our pride. Beautiful and glorious and you're the heartbeat of Nigeria. Beautiful and glorious and stars are singing over you. You're the land people dream to be. Our treasures are found in all nations, and our greatness is second to none. Our history forever shall be written. How our kings have endured all times. Our people culture in unity. Our hearts beat for the land. Rich culture, stories of heroes, legacies forever be. Beautiful and glorious and you're the heartbeat of Nigeria. Beautiful and glorious and stars are singing over you. You're the land people dream to be. Unite and stand with each other. Forgive and let it go. Together we can stand come what may, and the future lies in us. Teach our children to teach their children what our fathers taught. To fear and love the Creator, only then shall we succeed. Beautiful and glorious and you're the heartbeat of Nigeria. Beautiful and glorious and stars are singing over you. You're the land people dream to be.
Yeah, good evening, guys. Please, I wanted to just share this broadcast right now. As you can see that now people are no more interested in listening to the way forward. One of the things I have seen about a typical African man is we are where it does not really matter to us so much. And during the time of the electionary, when there were a lot of gossips, a lot of vulgar languages, people were getting glued to their devices to listen to gossips and news. But the moment it now involves things that will change the entire narratives of the Edo people, you see, the number of people who are now interested in listening begins to diminish. The reason is we as Africans, we are not so much interested in those things that is not fun. That is why we would love to watch BB Naija, don't sleep all through the night, and watch people sleeping without not gaining any tangible thing from the very particular thing we are watching. A white man once said something. Said if you want to deceive a black guy, an African guy, put this into a book. They will never read. Another guy said something. Said if you want to make an African man not to even go deeper, make the topic boring, they will never listen. One of the ways that the white men have been deceiving Africans is anything that is good, either they put it in the book or they make it a documentary. So when it's a documentary or a book, it's unattractive. We don't want to watch it at all. Rather, we are ready to go to Nollywood movies. Go watch BB Naija and some other stupid things that does not have value to ourselves as a people. Sister Janet, good evening, ma. Sometimes when I watch my people, I begin to react. Listen, guys, you don't fight a fight to win an election, and after you've won, you just go sit down. It's a wrong calculation. The politicians might end talking, might stop talking. But people like us who are activists must continue to talk. Because we are actually here to promote a better Edo. We didn't support Obaseki because we felt Obaseki is our man, no? I didn't support Obaseki because I felt I had no job doing. That was not the reason. We are doing very fine, man. Okay? But I supported Obaseki because I believe Obaseki had a plan that can take Edo to the next level. And after he had won, it is my responsibility to make sure that I actually follow up on all that I've said during the campaign time that Obaseki was going to do. So that at the end of the day, he will be able to have achieved that very particular purpose for which you and I actually elected him into power. Because the moment we decided to leave him and said, it doesn't matter, let him just do it the way he wants. He has already won. We have already defeated Oshomole. We have already ended Godfathers. We have scattered all their plans and all that and that. It now look as if our purpose of supporting Obaseki was not actually for the benefit of the Edos. It was just a mere emotional attraction. Whereby we felt, oh, this guy was treated bad, because of that I'm going to support him. Then you're going to leave him there. Whatever he does is none of my business. I don't think that is quite nice as a people. I want to encourage you because we, the Edos, we are so much enlightened set of people. Therefore, we must be able to be there to support the government all through with our ideas. It may not be 100% accurate, it may not be 100% palatable, but your ability to put something on the table for the government to work on, that is a work in progress. That is what the government is all about. Even in the Western world, where we are now today. Many of the achievements of the government are initiatives of the citizenry of that very particular state or nation. But when that is not put in place, it's the government has to do what they know, how much they have idea, and they have to put to table those things that will not actually favor you. Like particularly those of us who are living abroad, who are actually not just living here, we're actually part of the system, and we know how workable systems are here. The little idea you have, you can put it into the burner for the government of your country, for the government of your state, to be able to work out something that will make life more better, that will make life more palatable, that will make life more easy for the citizenry. Having said that, then we need to go into today's topic. It's not a topic, it's no more, the boza system that we have been operating all this while. And before I start, I would need to really appreciate, a very wonderful support group that actually supported Obaseki all through. It is called the Edos in Diaspora Support Group for Obaseki 2020. They did marvelously well during the electionary period, and they were at the front burner, doing something that was, unusual in the history of Edo State or even Nigerian politics. I want to say a big thank you to these guys, particularly the coordinator and the president, Comrade Roland Omorodin. I want to say a big thank you to him. I want to say a big thank you to Mama Island. I want to say a big thank you to Brother Ayo. A big thank you to Jesus is Lord. A big thank you to Payalehwe, Edosa, Pa Egareva, many of you that I cannot remember their names. I want to say a big thank you for that wonderful time, in fighting for the soul of Edo State. I want to say we can't relent. Now, having won the battle, there are many wars that is still ahead of us to be won. And for these wars, to be won, we need the cooperation of every one of us who are actually living in Edo to be able to make a better Edo for tomorrow. That is my concern. That is my aim, and I will continually, preaching, the gospel, of change, the gospel of development to my governor and to everyone who are ready to actually listen and hear, and also, propagate the same, the same gospel to them, so that we can have a better and a more change Edo. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Edo must move forward. Move forward. I will never. Move forward. I will never. Forward ever. I will never. Obaseki na demand. We know. Forward ever. Backward never, Shaibu self not demand. We know, Edo must move forward. Move forward. Backward never. Godfather is it. Move forward. Backward never. Forward ever. Backward never. Obaseki na demand. We know. Forward ever, backward never.
Please just share the broadcast as you are coming in. If you're on Facebook, just press your share button. Let's invite people in.
Move forward, backward never. Hey, they call me Frank, without protection.
Yeah, guys. Yeah. Good evening, Sister Janet. Blessing Ojo. I greet you. I go Sir Francis Ejiro Momo. I greet you. Isabel, I greet you. Sister Gawa, God bless you. Maxine, good luck. I greet you. Grace Obomo, I greet you, ma. You guys are welcome to the show. Now, let us go Few days ago, we talked about security, and we atomized the different ways in which the Edo State government can actually, give us security and make Edo secured. With or without not so much policing around. Because most of the time, when people talk about security, all they are actually interested about is bringing in more security into the state, and bringing in vigilante groups, creating more of these hoodlums, who will not be asked to take responsibility of all the nook and cranny of the state. But today we have been able to understand in the developed world that is not what is actually applicable. But little, gadget and the database information can also create more security than we ever think of. And the day after again, we now discuss on the power sector, in Edo State. And we're able to atomize 5 different ways in which we can actually generate electricity in Nigeria. I mean, Edo State. We talk about the hydro, we talk about the gas, we talk about the nuclear, which is the solar, we talk about the wind, and we're not talking about the organic waste product. And that I think is one thing that is so superb that the Edo people or the Edo government should take into consideration and see how they can remedy the situation of an epileptic power supply in our state called Edo State. Because without no power, security is next to impossible. Without no power, development is next to impossible. Without no power, it's very difficult for us, to sway in investors into the state. And I said, if peradventure you are not being able to get these things done, is to bring in a private investors to this very particular, areas that was going to help Edo to move forward. We are not saying the government should do it. More MOUs should be signed, not just MOUs on universities and all that and that. If we have proper power distribution in Edo State, which I know the government can do, Edo will turn around overnight. There are many Edo sons and daughters living in the diasporas that are wealthy. There are many of them. That will bring me to today's topic: manpower and empowerment or job creation. People talk so much when they talk about the government did not create jobs. The first thing is, what is the capacity? What is the capability of the people on ground? We must tell ourselves the truth now if we, as a nation, must move forward. In your own family, I think I have a lot of engineers in my family, engineers. Okay? Engineers who read mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and all form of engineering or the other. How many of these guys can actually do what they read in school in practical terms? I know people are not going to like this tonight, but I'm just going to say the truth. If we must move forward, we must tell ourselves the truth. The only way we can move forward is when we are ready to swallow or to chew the bitter truth. What we actually get as a people are certificate holders without proper qualifications. I'm going to explain that. What we actually get as a people are main certificate holders without proper qualifications. What is qualification in the sense? The qualification there is the ability for them to actually exhibit the character or being able to bring to bear that which they have learned in the university or in the polytechnics. This part of us have been omitted for a very, very long time. How do you expect a mechanical engineer, I repeat, how do you expect a mechanical engineer who has a BSc, OND, HND, PhD, MSc, even professorship, cannot fix his own car when the car gets broken down? How do you expect an electronic engineer with all grades and qualifications cannot be able to deal with electrical issues in his own home, or being able to actually put his electronics in check when they are bad? That has also contributed to a high level of manpower reduction in Edo State. You can bear me witness that before the coming in of Obaseki, the Ekiado law, the Abudu, the other College of Educations and Physical Educations in Edo State, they were just like some shitholes where rabbits were being trained. And when Obaseki came in, having studied abroad, having understood how a proper school needs to be equipped, he decided to shut them down in order for him to, build something more better. And it was being treated, was being called names. Even his opponent will use it as a political campaign against his persons. And some people actually bought into the idea and said Obaseki was a very wicked person. But people like my type who sees, beyond the surface of things, in many of my debate during the campaign time said the best that any government would have done is what Obaseki did by shutting down some of these schools. The reason why I said that during the campaign time is because what is being given or what is being produced in those schools are actually half-baked or semi-baked or school pass me baked graduates. I said half-baked, semi-baked, or school pass me baked graduates. That is the truth. Now, when the level of education in a country or in a state is so poor that what is being produced from the universities, even from the secondary school level, what is being produced are just a bunch of people that actually went to school but the school did not actually went through them. So they went through the 4 walls of a school for 6 years if it's for the secondary school, and for 4 years if it's for the university, but they actually did not learn anything from that place. So that will give problem to the manpower in Edo State. So for us to have a proper and a well-articulated society where employment is being consigned, we have to talk about our educational sector. Like I said, people will not like this, but I will be frank to you today and bear it out the way it is. Except we will remain where we are without not being able to move forward. You will understand when some of us actually went to school in our time, when you graduate from secondary school, from class 5 or SS3 in the early 90s, not the late 90s, in the early 90s, you see a graduate from secondary school then can teach an SS3 student. A guy who just finished secondary school in our time can actually teach an SS3 student mathematics, English, physics, chemistry. Those major difficult subjects can be taught in those days. Why was that? It was the level of the qualification.
To the next level. Thank you, Jesus, for giving us the governor.
It was a level, of the education that we were given by our teachers while we were in secondary school that made us to be teachers even immediately after we left school. But today, I can promise you, most of these HND, OND, BSc graduates today in Edo can't even teach some of the courses that they learned in school properly. Okay? Now, having said that, in the year 1985, when General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida came to power, he was one that actually changed the curricular system of the 6-5-4 system to the 6-3-3-4 system. Please share this video. So we need to do education today. It changed it from the 6-5-4 system to the 6-3-3-4 system, which is now applicable in Nigeria today. This is where I want to beg the Edo State government to actually listen to us. Listen to people like me who have the interest of the state at heart. Election is over. We are done with election. Today, there is something bigger than politics. Building the Edo of our dream. That is my concern right now. We are done. If even it was Isaiah that won, I will see I be coming out here today doing the same thing I am doing today. That is the truth of the matter there. Now, when it came with this 6-3-3-4 system, maybe many of us will don't understand that, but I will try to break it down. Because that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going to talk about the empowerment before we now go to employment. In the 6-3-3-4 system, 6 years in the primary school, 3 years in the junior secondary school, 3 years in the senior secondary school, 4 years in the university. That's what the system that came in. Now, people need to ask, why was the secondary school broken into 2 parts then? The junior and the senior. Why? Many of us did not actually know the reason why the government of IBB broke down the secondary education system into two. The reason was this: IBB knew before it is coming into government, we have many children who could not pass the West Africa examination exam, popularly known as the WAEC. And he knew also that not every child that actually went to school are brilliant. We all are not meant to work in the office. We all are not meant to be medical doctors, engineers, pharmacists, teachers, or whatever you call it. Some of us are meant to actually be an artisan. Some of us are meant to actually be a vocationist. That was why IBB created the 3-3 system in the secondary school. In order for us to be able to know at the end of the JSS 3, this is where the school, Nigerian school today, are missing it. This is going to help to also reduce the high level of touts, popularly known as Aberus, from the street. This is also going to reduce the high level of dropouts from our educational system. This is very important. The government needs to hear this. Now, when a child goes through the primary school, he now gets into secondary school. Now, when you get to secondary school, you now do GSS1, GS2, GS3. And at the end of GS3, the teacher should be able to know a child who is brilliant enough to be a science student. The teacher should be able to know a child who is brilliant enough to be a social science student, to be an art student. Do you see what the problem is now? They now group the entire curriculum of the school into three: the scientist, science student, the social science, and the art students. What about the average children who are not academically sound? What about those children who actually do not like education so well? Do you know what happens? They drop out of school because their brain could not carry the load that is coming with the education. That was why I supported Obaseki when he came up with the technical college rehabilitation or renovation. I want to beg His Excellency Governor Nnoyeka Obaseki to build more technical college in Edo State, all over the state. It should not be as much as the secondary schools, but you can say in every of the senatorial districts, maybe in the Edo South that we have more population, we can have 5 technical colleges. In Edo Central, we can have 3 technical colleges. And in Edo North, we can have 3 technical colleges. The reason is this: those children who are not too good or not too bright while they were in GS1 to GS3 can be advised, instead of being a dropout, constituting nuisance in the street of Benin, They cannot be advised to not go into a vocational school where they cannot learn an art of their choices. Instead of allowing them to go and meet one guy who is an electrician on the street, allowing them to go and meet one guy who is a mechanic on the street, allowing them to go and meet one guy who is a designer on the street. The government cannot create this vocation, in order for these guys to not see themselves as a lower breed in the society. That's it. Do you know that anybody that is a mechanic will tell you fees is inferior to those people that actually went to Auchi Polytechnic? But the truth of the matter is this: the guy who went to Auchi Polytechnic and the guy who learned mechanic on the street of Benin, they are actually the same. The difference between the guy who went to Auchi Polytechnic and the one that who learned on the street, it was just because of the education that was not added to their own, not the street way of doing it. You see that now? They're the same. Because the Polytechnic is actually a vocational higher institution. Because that is why in Europe today, if you go and learn, let's say, like I said yesterday, I'm a caterer. I'm a professional caterer. So when you learn catering, when you qualify, they give you diploma. They give you diploma. When you learn how to drive professionally, they give you diploma. So instead of allowing these guys to not drop out of school, becoming a problem to the society, the government can actually create these institutions that will not help in breeding these people with little educational knowledge attached to their different disciplines. When they leave school, they are not qualified to become a mechanic. They're not qualified to become a carpenter, whatever discipline that they went into. But these guys are going to come out, proud and more brighter than when they learn with dirty clothes from a roadside oga who does not even know his left from his right. This is the only way we can create a better manpower for Edo State. Now, do you know most of these white people you see coming to Nigeria who call themselves engineers? Most of these white people who come to Nigeria who call themselves engineer. Do you know these guys are actually vocationists, apprenticeships? That's what they are. They don't go school. These people you see, they will come and they say there will be people blowing siren along with them. Brother Narosa, and then they learned the job. They just went to vocational school, they came out, and they became who they are. We praise them when they get to Nigeria, but the government of Nigeria is refusing to do the same. The system of education in Nigeria today is the same thing that is applicable in most developed countries. But the difference is applying the holistic system of that approach is not a difference between the Nigerian government and the developed government. This is what they pay millions of dollars to come and do that modular refineries from China are actually vocationists. Maybe they will only come with only 2 persons who are graduates. The every other one will be vocationists coming into the country to do what the government would have been able to make us do. The way forward in the world we are today, the world has evolved outside paper qualifications. In Sweden today, they respect people that are vocationists more than people that are actually certificate holders. Now, the Swedish don't go to university. Very few of them that goes to university in this country. Very few of them that goes to university. That's why in Sweden today, you don't have a dropout. Because the government has an ability to manage them and put all of them into where they belong. What we are saying is this, Kundayi, it's not about the government doing it. That's what we said now. This is the government can now come up with this system and it can invest on private. We have private schools in Edo State. We have private secondary schools. We have private secondary schools in Edo State. Right? We have hundreds of them. We have the Benin Education Center. We have even my eldest brother had a very big, mighty private school in Benin, Dominion College. Dominion College. My brother had it there. But if the government of Edo had the same system, my brother lives in Canada. In Canada, he actually have a vocational school in Canada. But he could not replicate it in Nigeria because the Nigerian system does not actually understand or know about it. That is the issue. So very many people have this idea, but the government must put up a law so that when a child finishes from, let's say, a government college, for example, and this child is not performing well, the government might now liaise with these vocational schools who are around Edo State, and the child will be sent to the school, whereby the government will not support the child in the payment of whatever. This is what is applicable. If we want to get a better country, we must be ready to make some substantial sacrifice. Except we do not want to get it right. Like I said, many of us today, we are no more interested in this because it is no more Captain Osa, Isaiah Yamu, Oshomole, they are idiots and that. Many of us have actually withdrawn back into our shares, feeling as if we have won the battle, not knowing the war is still on. Why you and I fought is to have an Edo where you can go home. Where you can go home and be free. That's the reason why. But if you and I, they can listen. You know, if you and I begin to make some of this video go viral, they will listen. It will get to them. Obaseki is a man that actually wants to get, because we had a Zoom meeting with him yesterday. Okay, because Bobo, you know my brother. Reverend Testimony, it's my big brother, it's my elder brother. Okay, so if we make this video go viral, they will listen. Obaseki wants to get innovations from us, but we can't get to him because of the bureaucracy in Nigerian government. So that's why some of us are not doing this video we are doing. We're not supposed to do it. We're supposed to put it on paper. But if we put it on paper, they will not submit it to him. Somebody will sit on it and it will not pass there. I remember in 2011, when I went to Nigeria, under the Soshomole government, I really went there at that time. I went there. with a proposal to have an organic waste power. I went there to have an organic waste power. I went with a proposal. You know what they told me? You know what these guys told me? I got to the office of the government house. I sat somewhere and I asked them, I gave them everything, you know. When they brought these guys that came to talk with me, they asked me how much was I going to pay? How much was the company in Sweden going to pay? That was the reply I got. Nobody was interested in the proposal that would have by today change Edo State from an epileptic power supply state to a state that will be giving light to its neighboring state, or a state that will become clean by the reason of the use of this organic waste product into light. They asked me, how much is the company going to pay? So that's why we decided to now use media for the world to bear us weakness that we have actually done everything that we can to see we have a better Edo. Because with this, we will not only create job, we will take away thieves from the street, we will bring pride to those who we think are not too intellectually sound. You put pride into them again. You make them feel happy. You make them feel part of the society. You don't make them feel as if they are not dropouts. You know, that's why they become violent. Because they see themselves as worthless. A guy who could not pass JSS3 is not be taken to vocational school. He not graduates from the school. He comes out with a certificate that he cannot even go to NAPC and apply for a job. And he will be taken. He can go to the government house and apply for, you know, some of them cannot come and become a caterer like me. You see, the pride will come back to them. That level of, the society have already rejected me. I'm worthless. Making them to run into things they were not supposed to do will become things of the past. Okay? Now, having talked about how to build a proper manpower, let us now talk about the job creation. Now, let me say this carefully. It is the responsibility of the government. Hear this now. Hear this, Oyibo. I'm going to speak now. I'm going to speak one Oyibo now. It is the responsibility of the government to create an environment for businesses to strive. It is the responsibility of the government to create a well-articulate environment, a well-serene environment for businesses to strive. But it is not the sole responsibility of the government to create employment. See, Naturi Bona speaks so. Tui Bona speak. You know, during the campaign, Nzeyamu was saying, Obaseki, I've not created any jobs in Edo State. I know I had so very many videos, so very many debates with the Nzeyamu camp. You know that I flushed them, I put them where they belong, and I had to define to them the difference between job creation and employment. And today, that is where we're going to look at it from. The first thing is this: the people must understand the difference between creating job and government employment. So that when we are talking to the governor, to the government of Edo State, as of today, they will be able to understand where we are going and where we are coming from. Number one, job creation is a result of institutions created by the government to create an enabling environment for companies to come in and strive, and thereby creating employment. I repeat, job creation is the result of an institution created by the government to create an enabling environment for companies to come in and strive and then create employment. And why employment is giving jobs to the people in the state or in the country. So giving jobs is employment, or what's it called? Giving jobs is an employment, whereby creating an institution is the work of the government. Then how can we create an institution that cannot generate into job creation? I said before now, there are many of those all over the world who are quite rich. They might not be billionaires, but they can be millionaires, even in dollars, in euros, in pound sterling, and other wherever, that the government of the state can co-opt into coming into the state because of the institution that be created to protect their investment. The first thing that anybody needs to understand or to think of is investment protection. With this, the government can create what we call a cooperative. Not individual now, but the government-owned cooperative. This is what is applicable in most developed countries of the world. How many of you know Microsoft? We call Bill Gates, but Bill Gates was not actually the only one that started Microsoft. Facebook, we call Mark Zuckerberg, but Mark Zuckerberg was not actually the only one that started Facebook. We call Apple. It was not the only one that started Apple. There are many people, many guys came together in a cooperative mechanism that has already been created by the state, in order for them to not be able to put their resources together and come up with something bigger than big. Do you know, if you want to start a farm with 2 million naira, 2 million naira, the possibility of you employing 2 people to work on your farm is 1:10. But do you know, if 20 of us had to come with 2 million naira each to run the same farm, we can go into mechanized farming. And the possibility of us employing up to 20 persons to work in that farm is 9:10. Now the question is this: how much have you invested? The same 2 million. You doing it alone? a very minimal profit. You doing it with other people, you have more chances of making a better profit when you do it alone. The first is the government should create an institution that will give room for cooperative. A law should be enacted that will give the space for people to come together, sit on the round table with the government involvement. An agreement will be signed for them to be able to go into partnership and creating wealth for the state. Number two, the government also, this they can do. This they can do now. This to the government directly. We have many small, medium enterprises in Nigeria, in Edo State. They overlook these people. But in the Western world, they give these people more attention. They give these people more attention than the usual big companies in Europe. Back in Sweden, the government of Sweden valued those small companies more than the attention they give to these mighty, gigantic buildings or companies. In Edo State, all our market women, their businesses are not registered. They have high risk of losing everything whenever there is fire outbreak. Just like what happened at Ekioba, at Olia, at New Benin, and other part of Masakina Market and all. Okay? If these people are not being given an opportunity, free, sole proprietorship registration, you're not supposed to pay for it. In the developed world, you don't pay. It is free. It's only in Nigeria that you pay for everything. In Sweden, the sole proprietorship is being done at the tax office, not at Corporate Affairs Commission. It is being done at the tax office, free of charge. Because in Nigeria today, those people at the tax office, they do nothing. We all know that. They don't have a job they do there. Because in that place, in the Nigerian setting, taxes have been paid at the end of every year. So what is the job they are doing sitting in that office? That's why they can steal and poke nose. Jobs should be given to them that every small businesses in Edo State should be registered as a sole proprietorship. When this is done, an industrial insurance company, Edo Industrial Insurance Company, should be enacted. This insurance company will not be the body that will protect the businesses of those that have decided to register with them. Okay? Now, the moment this insurance company comes in, That these are mothers, our fathers, these bus drivers on the street of Benin will not have a protection. Then the insurance company will not give them conditions on how they are going to be insured. The risk, what they call a premium now. The risk that will be involved will not be based on some certain principles, rules, and regulations that they must have to follow. If that is done, this will reduce, instead of the drivers on the street of Benin, it will reduce their careless driving. Knowing fully well that if they carelessly jam someone else's motor and having gotten the social security number and other information that we have discussed about before now, they can be charged to court. The government will fix the car, for the insurance will fix the car, and a higher bill we put on them to pay. Easy. So it will not only generate income and employment, it will also bring no mercy. Even our mothers in the market who just, when they sell, they just throw the paper and put on the floor, set fire in front of their store. We stop doing those things because they now know the consequences. That when it happens, you will bear the burden for others. Jobs cannot be created. Because when there is a balance, a backup to these people, that there is something you are going, you are not benefiting, it will reduce the high level of risk that is not being involved in what these people are doing. We also talked in one of our videos, I think one of these videos, when I was talking about the post-election, I talked about the cleaning of the gutters. It's another way in which job can be created. And I said in that video that the government of Edo, we directly or indirectly not even contribute to the cleaning of those places if a proper plan is being put in place, that the owners of the buildings along the road where these gutters are being constructed to take responsibility in ensuring that the gutters are being cleaned by asking them to pay some little stipends that will be used in cleaning the gutters and indirectly employing people to do the job. Like I said, if you have a house, a 4 flat, that you have about four tenants, you are being asked to pay 1,000 naira in a month. That's 250 naira in a month. It means nothing. Or you have a face me and face you apartment, whereby there are 10 rooms in the house, and they'll be asked to pay 1,000 naira. That is 100 naira in a month. It means nothing. In Edo State today, do you know something? All those pave they put on the way, those barricades they put on the way, it was not needed. Those barricades they put on the way, those area it was not needed. What was supposed to have on those areas supposed to be trees, beautification of the city. People will not be involved in taking care of those trees, making them look beautiful. People want to drive down just like the way it is in Europe. During the summertime, you see people driving down to now water the trees on the street. This also is another means, another ways of job creation. Every time we wait, listen, the government of Edo don't have the money to employ everybody. Like I said, there are too very many graduates in Edo State that are looking for jobs. But if a proper system is put in place, we are going to have a lot of Edos be taken away from the street into the labor market. The last one I'm going to talk about is farming. farming. You know, today we see farming in Nigeria as a poor man's job. But in Europe, the richest men in Europe are actually farmers. The richest men in Europe are actually farmers. Do you know that the government can also create a cooperative of Edolites? I don't even know what our government are thinking. Why can't you just go abroad and say, all the Edo people in America, in Texas, I want to have a meeting with you. In California, take 1 month. 1 month. Be going from state to state. Finish there, come to Europe. Pack them together. Give them a proposal. Why are you bringing Chinese into Edo State? Why are you bringing Lebanese into Edo State? Why not call your people and discuss with them? Many of them have what it takes to build good roads, to build good pipe-borne waters. Many of them have what it takes to build good schools, standard schools, equipped with high-tech, first-class equipment. Why not bring this both together? Why not discuss with them? If it's not one man, a man might have the idea, but does not have the full capability. His friends or his colleagues can join up with him, and the cooperation can be put in place. Do you know that modular refinery costs only $20 million? Do you know that modular refinery only costs $20 million? To be candid with you. They said the first phase is $10 million. So the second phase is going to be $10 million. I can bet you. I know there are some people in America that can easily raise $10 million and hand over to the government to build that refinery if they were actually invited. I can know in Europe here that 10 people can put that money together if they were actually invited. The only way we can develop is where we begin to bring our brains all over the world, our resources all over the world into being in our state and giving them an assurance that their wealth will not be squandered, that they will not lose all they have invested. Many of our people are so rich. Many of our people are so rich that this refinery can be built by us. This industrial park we are talking about now, bros, I am telling you, Governor Obaseki, if you want to build an industrial park in 1 year, come here to Europe, go to America, talk to us, give us assurance that we are going to get our money back. Let it be put in place just the way you are dealing with the Chinese people. Deal with us in the same way. That if we don't get our money back, from this project, tell us what we are going to take in Edo State, just the way you are doing to Chinese people, and see what we will do. Hear this now. Hear this. Do you know there was a clause in the money borrowed by the federal government from the Chinese government that if they fail to pay the money, that the Chinese government, that the sovereignty of Nigeria should be waived in some properties that the Chinese government will take over from Nigerian government? Why can't the Nigerian government write the same proposal with people like Dangote, with people like Otedola, with people like Adenuga, and many other, rich men around the world, said, if you come to invest in your country and we are unable to pay back your money with the interest. Take this thing. If, for example, I, Stephen, I now built a refinery in Nigeria, in Edo State, and the government of Edo did not pay me my money, and I take the refinery, am I going to take the refinery out of Edo State? Hello? Am I taking the refinery out of Edo State? Am I taking the refinery out of Nigeria? Am I taking the money I have invested in it out of Nigeria? No. The money still remains within there. It's not living. It remains our money because I am a Nigerian. I am an Edo son. So if the government could not pay and I took over the company, it still remains a company within that geographical location called Edo State. And every money I make from it will still remain in my country. I work here, labor, and I take every money I make here to Nigeria. I don't live an extravagant life in Europe. Every money I make in Europe is returned back home to go and develop my home. So if the government have this idea of bringing most of the, though there are many of them in UKs, there are many of them in US, there are many of them in Canada, in Australia, who are doing well. Most of them are even working in the government of these states. Why not bring them together and create a massive job for the populace? Some agreement with them. Let them be aware that this is the consequences, because that's what we want to see. That our monies can be protected by the government of Edo State. Not like, not an open investment, with clauses, very tough clauses, just the way the Chinese people, the European people are giving to them. Let them give us the same clause and see if Edo will not turn overnight to become a construction site. Overnight. That state will become a construction site overnight. Overnight. This is what the white people are doing. We Africa. God of Israel, I tire. Do you know that the second largest airport in UK, the second largest airport, the Garrick Airport, the second largest airport, the Garrick Airport, is actually owned by a Nigerian, a Yoruba man. After Heathrow Airport, the second largest airport is owned by a Nigerian, a Yoruba man. In United Kingdom, the guy is a bastard billionaire in pounds, not in dollars. In pound sterlings. Our government don't care about us. They'll go and bring one Chininko. One guy who did not even finish secondary school, to come and start leading graduates in Nigeria. For us to create job, the government can't do it. We are tired of using the Chinese people to create jobs. Listen, do you know why? Let me tell you something. Let me shock you. Let me shock you a little bit. If you live in UK, if you live in United Kingdom, they patronize UK-made product more than they patronize product from Sweden. Yeah. They are very, very conscious of it. For there to be employment of labor, let there be an avenue where our product should be well patronized. Listen, black people, we are our greatest enemy. See, now, see, you want to become popular now. I know we sharing video. Which day Stevie become a social media presenter? Maybe say everybody don't run and follow. So I know. You know, we are always afraid of somebody better than us. But the white man is always happy when someone does something that has improved on what he had done before. Thank you, Chris Oye. Slogan in Ireland, buy Irish to create more jobs. That is it. There should be things that not just buying. The government also should begin to make standard. Begin to make standard. Do you know, in 2018, I was traveling home to Africa, you know, because the car I was using has some little fault, and then I wanted to buy a new one. Okay, and I contacted Inoso Motors. And I contacted Inoso Motors. Now, when I contacted Inoso Motors, hear this now, because this is where we need to understand how to create jobs. And I said I wanted a Jeep. Like Formatic. Like Formatic. Because he had one, you know, very beautiful, well designed. I was okay, let me buy a Nigerian product from this guy. Do you know how much he told me? He told me 18 million. 18 million naira. And I looked at it, I laughed. What is the cost of buying a Mercedes-Benz, a well-known product? Both buying and shipping is not up to 18 million. A tear rubber Prado Jeep is not up to 18 million. Now, what did I do? I said, okay, sorry, I don't think I have that kind of money. And I needed a car that would have cost me maybe 2.5 to 3 million naira. That's yes, I can go. For this, sorry, I can't afford that. Then I have to come back here to Europe, buy a car again, and ship the car home. Now, why did I say that now? Africa, we don't know how to create jobs. We don't know how to make wealth. The white man lost every kobo, every penny as a profit. It's better for them. The white man will tell you, I better sell 1,000 products and make one pound or €1 on every product than selling only 10 products and make 10 pounds from every product. So that is why when they are doing their business, they look at the environment. They understand what the people can afford. They peg their price on it. But in Nigeria, they don't care about the low class, the middle class. But the Western world, they talk about the middle class more than they talk about the high class people. Because the high class people, they are few. The middle class takes the highest number of the population of every society. So I am also giving this now as a way for any businessman that is going into Nigeria to create job to take more of the middle class than taking off the high class. Long-term planning. Chris, thank you. Nabulele. This is where they make mistakes. When he said it, I was like, come on, guy. You made this car in Nigeria. Everything is in Nigeria. There is no cost, nothing. At least your car is supposed to be cheaper than the one that is coming from abroad. With that, we can patronize you. You sell more of your product on the street of Nigeria. You make more money by gaining little from each product that you have made. Not wanting to make all the profit at once in one car. Up to today, Innoson have been there now for close to 10 years. You hardly see Innoson Motors cars within Nigeria. Very few. Very, very few. Not that they are not good. They are good. They are strong. They are durable. But they are not for the low-class earners. And you need to also remember, the high-class earners do not buy cars that the low-class earner can buy. They want to buy cars that is customized for them alone. So when you are producing, look at the level of people in your society in order for you to be able to create your level of employment. When this is done, then Nigeria can move forward. The last I'm going to talk about now is signing of MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. Memorandum of Understanding. That is the basis. Where all these clauses are just, atomized, can be put in place by the government and the private sector, which right now should be the citizens of Edo State. I'm running a farm, working on the farm, very big farm in Edo. Very big farm. I'm working on about 10,000 capacity bed in Edo State. I'm still working on it because it takes a lot of money. So you see, because I'm doing it alone, I do not have that financial muscles to carry it up by myself. It takes a very long time. See that now? Because I'm doing it alone, and the capacity is wide, it's big. Because I need to do everything from the land you need to buy, from the water, from everything, the kitchen, everything is all on you alone. It slows down production. It slows down job creations. But when the government can come into this now and say, okay, Mr. Steve, for example, we know you have a land, you have a farm that you are working on. There is another guy coming from Europe who is also interested in farming. Why can both of you come together and collaborate? Okay? Then an MOU will not be signed between the two parties. Then the government will not bring in expatriates within the government cycle to help in building, helping us to make sure that that business does not fail. Because our major task is to make sure the business succeeds, so that when the business succeeds, we can employ more into the system. Not all this employment that they are doing now. Employment that will last, that will become a permanent job. Go to Italy. Go to people working in a farm for the past 10 years. They now have a contract, a life contract with the farmer for the past 10 years. Come here. I have worked as a chef, as a caterer for 14 years with Scandic Hotels. 14 years. 14 years. Because an institution was created that makes the business not to fail. We have many hotels in Edo. I don't want to talk about hotels because I have so much I can talk about them that they are not even doing in Edo State today. Even in Nigeria, let me just talk. I think I still have about 20 minutes to go. I'm going to leave here in 15 minutes. No, now hear this. Now, I came back from Nigeria, and I went to a hotel along Airport Road, and in Lagos. So I went to this hotel. I think it's called Westview or something like that. Beautiful hotel, well designed by the guy with elevator and everything. Myself and my wife. So it was fine, fantastic. The rooms was okay, at least to some level, not zero standard anyways, but to some level, it was fine. It's just maintenance. That's what we lack, which we also need to build on anyways. So in the afternoon, in the morning, I wanted to eat something. I was hungry. No, my wife was hungry. She said, I said, please, this year there's no food. Then I went down. I met the manager, a very young guy. I said, please, can we get some breakfast, for my wife? And he said, yeah, you need to pay 1,800 egg and some funny things. I said, that's to say yes. I said, come on, guy. Do you know you messing up the job? I told him, say it's Oga's decision. Now, why am I saying this? We lack business orientation as people, as black people, sorry to say. Do you know if you want to run a successful hotel? I told you if you want to run a successful hotel, you get 15,000. You get 15,000. I'm into poultry and piggery. And I have a palm trees also. I'm planting now. You get 15,000. You charge 15,000 as your night. Per night, which is about less than 50 euros per night. Why then can't you just make that money to be 16,000 naira with breakfast? This is what the white people do. You see, the business acumen. How do you bring in people to your business? If you, for example, go to an hotel, they say you're going to pay 15,000 naira in a night, and you go to the other one, the same standard. They say you're paying 16,000 with breakfast. Which one will you go to? Can somebody answer me? You lodge in an hotel in Lagos or in Edo. Let's say in Edo, because we are talking about in Edo State. You just came back and they said the room is 15,000, standard room, beautiful room. They're what they call executive. And B, A is 15,000 without no breakfast, and B is 15,000, 16,000 with breakfast. Which are you going to go for? Is the one with I'm very sure it's the one with breakfast. Hello? Beautiful, 16,000. Now, let me tell you something. Let me shock you now. One egg is 100 naira. 3 slices of bread, a full loaf of bread is 200 naira. And that full loaf of bread can take up to 10 rooms. That full load of bread can take up to 10 rooms because they're going to give you maximum of three slices. Those small packet of Nido milk and tea milk, all of them put together is not to 100 naira. It's not the 400 naira. So if it's not 100, if you put everything together, the total money you spent from the 1,000 naira is not up to 500 naira per guest. So at the end of the day, you even make 500 naira extra, and people want to lodge in your hotel because people do not really have that time to wake up in the morning and start looking for what to eat. They already know that their money is, the breakfast is added already to their money. Simple, my brother. Make we wise up. With that, you will get so much customer that at the end of the day, you have to employ more people to do the job. Most hotels in Edo State don't have lunch. What are you guys okay? I live in your hotel. I have to go and buy food from outside. Incorporate all these things into your bill and see people flying. Don't think of making so much money for no reason. Every investment is a long-term project. So try as much as possible to reduce this attitude of getting rich syndrome that is destroying the state or the nation. A man will be an hotel today, he wants to be a millionaire tomorrow. By so doing, he lost all the values that is attached to hospitality. That's what I'm saying now, man. That's what I'm saying. If you create all this into it, you see things will become easier. You make more money, you spend less money in making it. They don't understand how it works. You don't understand how it works. Okay? So that look. Yeah, they will say, yes, sir. They will say the hotel give free breakfast. It will become a thing. Okay, B&B. You know, because they say, that hotel, they give free food, though. Even when you are leaving, you say, let's say, I'm going to say, Sister Janet, say, Brother Steve, I'm going to Nigeria. Say, you're going to say, yes. I beg you, ma. That hotel, there's an hotel there in Lagos where you just come down. They give free breakfast, too. You just hear that, you'll be looking for the hotel. It's not free. You paid for it. But because it is included into your cost, you're not paying an extra from your pocket. You just allow it to go. We should be wise. Africans should be wise. You know, this platform is to educate us. That's why I say it's matter arising with me. I'm here to do things in a different ways. I don't like gossiping. I don't know how to gossip people. So either I am doing politics or I am talking about how life can be better for people. I do a lot of different businesses anyways. You know, maybe with time, I'm going to start talking about more of them also. Those of us that are interested in it, many of us would have seen it. We can jump into it and have a better life for tomorrow. Thank you guys for today. Any question or answer? Does anyone have any question to ask us? Just throw your question down. Write it there so we can talk about it while I go. Any question? So tomorrow, Memorandum of Understanding. Memorandum of Understanding. That is an agreement between you and I on how we need to collaborate into doing the very particular business that we want to go into. Okay? Yeah, that's the meaning of MOU. We can't forget, Frederick, don't say forget about Nigeria, education. No, we can't forget. We are product of education. Nigeria has really made us who we are. I'm very bold today to stand before you and talk. It is the Nigerian product that I am. So having gotten such a privilege in my time, I should be able to tell the government where they are missing it so we can do something. Yeah.
the next level. Thank you, Jesus, for giving us the governor.
Yeah, hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
Mr. Ramata.
Yeah, well done, sir.
Hello, Mr. Ramata. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
How's everything?
We thank God.
How's the family?
We bless God, sir.
Are you on live?
Yeah, I'm on live, yeah.
Yeah, I will appreciate if you can keep my number, and I would like to talk to you privately.
Okay, no problem.
On WhatsApp, then if you can give me an appointment when to call you, maybe tomorrow evening or anytime from tomorrow. I do work from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
Okay, no problem.
I'm home.
No problem then, no problem.
So you can tell me when to call you so I can discuss with you private and important,
Okay, what is going to happen? Maybe we'll talk immediately. I'm done with this live video now. No problem, bro. No problem, bro. Yeah. I will do that. Okay, bye. So, guys, that is it, man. There are other things we're going to discuss about with time. We must join hands, like we said, we must join hands together to make Edo great. Not just Edo, even us. We need to give ourselves ideas. If you have an idea that can help me, please don't hesitate to bring it out. That's what I said is matters arising with me. Okay, somebody asked a question about, assurance of our money. That's where we want the government to come in. That assurance is what we want the government to come and give to us. That's what we are doing this now. That's why we are doing this, so that the government can come out and give us this idea, this assurance that our money can be saved. We year from year we can get 20 people that can bring in 10 million from here, from Europe to Africa, and put into a business. But we need the assurance that these monies can be saved. That we're not going to just put the money in and lose our money. No, Kelly, no. I invest a lot. I'm telling you. EFCC doesn't hold me. As far as your money is genuine, you can prove it, you don't have a problem. Yeah, I've already talked about light. I talked about light in the video I did on Saturday. The video I did on Saturday, go check it on YouTube. On Nigeria Watch, I talked about light there. I put everything on. And the government has already gotten it also. That very particular video is with the government now. They're already watching it. So I know they're already ready to take responsibility and do something about the light. Just check that video. I did on Saturday. I talked about power generation. That I itemized the 5 ways in which we can get electricity. So please just try to watch that. Yeah, Chris, that's what we need. Collaboration by the government. The government will do the collaboration. With all the things put in place for the government for us to have a proper guarantee that we can be able to get our money back when we invest into the business. So that's the most important part of it. So this platform is for us to build ourselves together and see how we can be able to put a lot together to make Edo a better place. That's just my major concern. That's why I'm crying on the government, because I know many people just want to go home. Many want to go home, but they need the government to be able to come in and help them. Just okay, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to do it. These are the conditions in your business and all that and that. The way that it's not being done, you see us just moving. You see everything just moving. We'll just be going. Everything will just enter now. As they're talking for all those young boys, just caraput. Everything will just caraput for everywhere. Courage. I beg. You can't put your money there. You need to get contact with me. You can't put your money in the bank. You are wasting the money. If you have so much money, let me give you advice. If you have so much money in the bank, go and buy a house. Okay? If you have money that's worth buying a house, go buy a house. Houses doesn't depreciate. They appreciate. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, to contribute to your presentation,
yes, sir.
I'm in support of the Edo State government to start extending technical colleges into local government because it will do us help by taking out people from the streets. Trades in the community. And I will appeal to you to use this medium, the platform. We should continue to be campaigning, advocating for this issue of technical colleges because you can't center everything in Benin City. We should also extend development to other local governments so that Benin will be
less disconnected. Yeah, that's what I said. I said we can have 5 in Benin, 4 in Edo Central, and 4 in Edo North. That's what I said in the technical colleges.
Yes.
Yeah. That was my.
We should be singing it into the ears of
without
administration.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
You can remember in the days of Ambrose Ali, all these things we are working. Then why can't you work now? So please, we should keep campaigning with them. Thank God they've heard our cry. We in the diaspora, so we should not relent. We should keep preaching it. It will help Edo State a lot.
No problem, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, please don't keep your money in the bank. It's not even in Europe. Don't keep so much money in Europe in the bank. Don't keep so much money in Nigeria in the bank. I never do that. That's my secret. I never do that. Never. In my Nigeria account today, I don't have up to 10,000 naira. That's the truth. I am a very, very good investor. I invest in landed properties. If I don't have a business to do, if I have my money can buy a house, I buy a house. If even I don't want to put tenant on it, I just lock it up, put the key, take the key to Europe. I'll just leave the house there. After a while, the house you bought for 10 million in a year will become 11 million. I can promise you that. That's the truth of matter there. Even in Sweden, the same thing I do in Sweden. Now, people say, you don't go to work anymore, you're always on social media. Yes, I don't work anymore. I decided to retire at a very early age. Yeah, because I had a plan. And I have time for myself, have time for my online business, have time for my business in Nigeria. Then I'm cool. So putting the money in the bank there, your money depreciates. As of today now, I'm very sure the money my brother put in the bank, when he put it on it might be in a very high rate. But now the value of that money is useless. But the money remains the same, but the value has gone down. Okay? So for us to be able to not do this, we must have this ability to understand what we really want to do with the money. Buy properties, leave it there. It's going to appreciate, it's going to go up. Today, tomorrow, you get gain if you want to sell it. So that's an advice. Thank you, guys. Until we see tomorrow again, because I'm going to have a meeting very soon. In the next 20 minutes, I'm having a meeting. Another one. Oh, God. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, please let me just add one problem, and creating these technical colleges, it will also reduce people traveling these dangerous travels, Olympians going to abroad, because it's because of those trips, So if they are engaged, the trade they went through succeeds. I mean, they will make money. They will open their business. Thank God, Obaseki has created a microfinance bank for the people who went for trade, like in the technical college, or those who did skills acquisition. You see, it's a very good institution. It's a very good institution. So I will continue campaign, try to advocate for this stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, guys, see you tomorrow again. Maybe tomorrow we're going to talk about another very important and interesting topic tomorrow. Stay blessed. Tomorrow, I'm going to give room for questions. We'll give room for questions that we can be able to
must move forward.
give room for questions tomorrow. Come with your questions that we can deal with together. Okay? Please let us come with our questions that we can deal together with that involve economy. Come with any question you think you have that we can put our heads together and deal with this together, brothers and sisters. We must move forward. Let's deal with it together. Let's come together and discuss a lot that can change the narratives of things. Thank you, guys.
Move forward, backward never. Forward ever, backward never. Obaseki na demand. We know. Forward ever, backward never. Shaibu set na demand. We know. Edo must move forward. Move forward, backward never.